Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys more in depth about the Steam Deck with Windows and maybe kind of going over some of the differences between a PC and what you get with the Windows here on your Steam Deck. And unfortunately, I'm going to say it just off the bat, Windows on the Steam Deck is very beta and honestly isn't that good. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys what I did with my own Steam Deck, and I changed some stuff around on my Steam Deck to make it work with Windows and to make it work with the regular Steam OS, because I honestly really missed having the regular Steam OS on my Steam Deck to play, my games, quick and easily, kind of like a console. And with the Windows, you're going to have to do some tweaking around, and you kind of have to download a bunch of other things to even run a game. And I found that to be kind of annoying and really time-consuming and can really frustrate you if you don't know what you're doing. And for me personally, I didn't really know what I was doing with it, so I decided to try out Dualboot. Now, I will put a link in the description down below from this guy. Shout out to Chief Sweet for showing me how to do this because he is awesome. His videos get straight to the point and are very, very helpful. And it took me less than an hour to do if you know what you're doing. And I'm not showing you guys how to do that, but I will post his video down the link so you guys can go and watch his video. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Also, please subscribe to mine. That would really help me out. Also, thank you for 70 subscribers. Now I actually have an audience to talk to and review products to, and I really appreciate all the support. But anyways, we're looking at Windows on here. Now, this right here is the SD card that I have my Windows application on, or my Windows boot. This is what I use to boot into Windows onto my Steam Deck. Now, personally, Windows mobily is horrible. I would never use this thing for Windows mobily. So that's why I literally just, make sure my Steam Deck is totally turned off, and then just pull out this SD card. And I have a normal SD card in here that I use for my, Steam library where I used to have games. It's only a 64 gigabyte, but I have to upgrade to a bigger one. That's all I have at the moment. So that's the one I pretty much use with my Steam Deck when I want to play my Steam Deck on the go. Now, I don't really play with my Steam Deck on the go that much, so I honestly just end up leaving this in my Steam Deck when I have it docked in my gaming desk. I'm sorry, I'm not in my room right now. My room's being occupied, but I decided just to do it in our basement here, this video, so don't mind any of the clutter around. But I wanted to just kind of look over and see why you would want to put Windows on here and why you wouldn't want to put Windows on here. So starting off with the first reason, SteamOS is beautiful. And don't get me wrong, I love SteamOS. SteamOS is great. Like, having SteamOS on here is an awesome experience. Just to be able to, go to your Steam library and being able to, see the games that you own and download whatever is compatible with your device is actually freaking awesome. Now, most people will argue with me saying that, tons of games on here aren't supported. But yes, you actually can make the games where most of them can actually support themselves on the Steam Deck, even though the Steam Deck says that, it doesn't support it. But yeah, there is workaround. I'm not going to show you guys how to do all that, but I'm just saying that with the Steam OS, there are workarounds. You don't have to have Windows to play every Steam game. Even with Windows, it's like I said, it's real finicky, and half the time you won't get that game to work. Now, another really big pro about having Windows is that you do get the Xbox Game Cloud experience, and you do get Xbox Game Pass, everything on the Windows. So you can end up playing your own Xbox games if you don't want to buy them again on your Steam Deck. But like I said, it's real finicky, and it sometimes won't always work. Like, sometimes you'll be in the game and it will show, it will show you like your mouse cursor or something, even though you want to play with your controllers. And I know there's applications you can download like SWICD, where basically you can have your Steam Deck controls turn into an Xbox controller and able to play those games. So yeah, there are workarounds, like I say, but it's real finicky. Now, another thing that I do love about the Steam Deck is that Linux. You get Linux on here, and Linux is basically the operating system of the Steam Deck. So now I can literally go to desktop mode from my Steam OS into my Linux, whereas the Windows version doesn't support that. So you can't just switch between your OS and your browsers. So here I'm in my Steam Deck Linux here, and as you can see, I can still even play all my Steam Deck games on here. So if I prefer to play it on, let's say, like a web browser based system, or like, just a different type of boot, then I can just go to my Linux here and I can just boot up my Steam and do that. Also, you can download things off the internet that is compatible with your Linux, and you can download apps and games. You can even put Minecraft on here. I have done it before, but you have to use that with a keyboard and mouse setup because it won't actually work. Now I know there's the literally small mini keyboard you guys can buy if you guys want to have like a mobile Go. I also have this really cool Lysen dock that I maybe will put in the link down below if I can. But there's a really nice Lysen dock. Maybe I should go grab it here. But it's a dock that has fans and all kinds of good stuff on it. It's crazy awesome, and it cost me around $45 here in the U.S. So if you guys really want to pick that up, I would recommend it. But honestly, guys, you guys will end up loving the Steam Deck with the OS more than the Windows, and that's just with everyone because Windows sometimes has a lot of issues with it, and it's really not that good. And I will boot this up because I did uninstall my Windows off my current Steam Deck. I have two of them. One I just keep alone. I don't even touch anything of it. And then I have one here where I actually did Dualboot with this little SD card. But the only thing you're messing around with, you don't have to delete anything, but I did delete Windows 11 off mine to reinstall the Linux OS, which that was also pretty easy. I'll post down the link down below if you guys already download Windows 11 and kind of hate it and want to take it off and be download like Windows 10 or something, then you guys can do that as well. So I'll post those two videos in my links so you guys can check them out. Like I said, shout out to Chief Sweet. He did the other video I just talked about. Great YouTuber. And yeah, pretty much that's all you really need to know about. But as far as Windows go on here, I wouldn't recommend it at all unless you are playing with it on your dock 24/7. But for the Steam Deck, which you're taking this thing around to play your games. You're not going to sit like with a computer here. You're going to be taking it around and playing your games. Then yeah, you don't really want to have Windows as your custom, boot up, your main boot up. So yeah, that's pretty much straightforward from there, and that's kind of one of the biggest turn-off points of having Windows on here. But I feel like showing you guys how you guys can boot up into Windows. But to do this, you kind of need to fully shut down your Steam Deck. So just come here and press shutdown, and just press OK, and it's going to shut down Steam on here. It's going to shut down the whole device, just like you would if you were in regular Steam. Now, whenever you're removing or putting an SD card, make sure your device is fully turned off so you won't corrupt the data on here. And you don't want to really corrupt the data on your Windows card because it's going to suck to reinstall. If you guys kept your files and stuff, you guys, pretty much easy. Now, you have to have an application called Rufus as well on your computer in order to install that. Rufus is basically a boot manager for an SD card, so you basically can add boot ISO files. Is it iOS or ISO? iOS is for Apple, my bad. ISO files onto here, so you can make your SD card a boot. Now, my Steam Deck is fully turned off now. We can go ahead on the bottom here, if you guys can see this. Just pull this SD card out. This is actually my Nintendo Switch SD card. I just used for the current, just to have a couple games on my Steam Deck library. But then you guys can go ahead and just put the Windows one into your Steam Deck here as a simple click. Now you guys can go ahead and hold your power up volume from now, and then just press your power volume, your on control and your power up volume, and you will come into this screen right here. This is called your boot manager. This is where you basically can mess around with the Steam's hardware, but we want to go to our boot manager here and just click on our right stick here, and we can see here we have EFI 65 and we have this one SD card, EFI SDMMC card DS right here. This is the card that we use to have Windows on here. So we're gonna go ahead and just click that. This is my hard drive. This is what my my Linux file is on, or AKA this is how I boot up into my software for the Steam Deck OS. But since we're going to the Windows here, we're gonna click this one, and it's actually gonna boot us up into Windows now. Now it says preparing automatic repair because I did something to it when I last left it, so I think that's the issue. It shouldn't be a problem though. Hopefully we'll just we'll get into Windows here. We'll just go ahead and wait for that, but it's going to prepare the automatic repair. All right, guys, we're back, and I finally got Windows 11 on the Steam Deck because I had an issue with it. Apparently, last time I shut it down, I did something wrong, and I just had to go through a recovery thing to get it to work again, and it didn't take long. But it was my fault. It wasn't the Steam Deck's fault, and I'm assuring you guys that the SD card is fine. But now that we're in here, let's kind of take a look and see how you would be using Windows mobilely and why I wouldn't even freaking recommend it. So let's say you guys want to search something up on the internet, right? I mean, touchscreen is pretty much easy on this device. You can go ahead and just go to your web browser here. You can go ahead and just touch your thing, and you get your on-screen keyboard here to type in just like you would. But you have to use your fingers, and you can't use your cursor or your or your joysticks here to type anything. So I mean that's kind of a disappointment to most people because most people even hate touching their darn screens if they don't have to. And I trust me, I feel it sometimes. I don't even want to like I'm playing a game or something and I have to start using something to type something in. Then I have to like mess my game up and do that, which that can be annoying as heck. So that's another reason why Windows is still finicky on here. And sometimes, like I'm using Windows 10 personally, I do have the option to update my device to Windows 11 if I ever wanted to, but I highly doubt I'm going to ever do that unless I really need to, because Windows 11 is kind of ass cheek on the Steam Deck. It really isn't that good, and I don't recommend it. Now, would I ever recommend playing this mobilely? Heck no, honestly. Especially if you have Steam OS, I wouldn't. Um, but if you guys want to play this on your PC, then that's a different story. Let's say like not on your PC, but your monitor. So you have your dock. You dock it up and you plug it in and everything, and you want to use it, to play your games with your keyboard and mouse. Then that would be okay. But most of the games on here are more ideal for keyboard and mouse, especially on Windows, because Windows is not made for, controller integrated software. So it's not really made to, oh, I'm in a game, I just can use my my controls on my Steam Deck to play it now. That's not how it works, unfortunately. Like I said, you have to download some software to get that to even work. And like I said before, it's very finicky. I know the word finicky is one of my favorite words to say today, but it's true. It's very finicky, and it's annoying. It's very annoying. Also, another big issue you're going to have, especially with dual booting, is storage. Now, let's say you're just using Windows on your device. Windows, you're going to be fine with storage. You can get plenty enough storage. Especially if you downloaded your Windows Boot Manager to, let's say, like I have mine on a 400 gigabyte SD card, so I have enough storage to download like maybe a handful of games, kind of like a Series S. But if you guys are keeping this in here and using your Steam Deck, this is just the basic Steam Deck. It only has 64 gigabytes. You basically can download nothing. Maybe a couple indie games, but that's pretty much it. You really can't download much with 64 gigabytes. Now, this card is only for Windows. You can't use this card with your Steam OS. So that means if you wanted to download a game on this SD card, you have to format the whole SD card. And that means destroying your Windows boot file. And honestly, if you guys did that in your Steam OS, you would have to go and re-download your Windows on your SD card here, and that's just a whole bundle of trouble. And you would not want to do that. You would not want to do that for sure. And I haven't done that. I haven't made that mistake because I kind of know if I do that, what's going to happen. So I recommend not doing it. Also, another big letdown of this system is that you don't have a fan control on your device. So you can't control the speed of your fan. Now, I know there is more software you can download on here to, change that up. But I hear that it's very experimental and very beta. So you can end up destroying your device by having it too low or having it too high. So basically, right now it's okay, but it's going to drain your battery dramatically fast. So that's another thing I wouldn't recommend putting Windows on. Also, like I said, there's a whole ton of shit, pardon my French, but there's a whole ton of stuff you're going to have to download on the Steam Deck that will just take up so much, space and stuff that it's so annoying. It's overabundantly annoying. Now, if you guys are going to be playing on your monitor or using this for, let's say, I don't know, Zoom calls, or, using it for like editing. This thing's good for editing. Windows is great for editing. Or you're using it for like a Discord thing or whatever you're using it for, then yes, I would 110% recommend this Windows over Linux any day, because Linux themselves is kind of annoying. But for solo guy gaming, then Linux is crusher. Now, like I said, with Linux, you have the anti-cheat, so you can't end up playing like Fortnite on there. Well, I wouldn't recommend playing Fortnite at all on here, but you wouldn't be able to play Call of Duty on there. You wouldn't be able to play Destiny. All those types of games you wouldn't be able to play on there because of anti-cheats. Now, Windows does not have anti-cheats, so that means you can basically play all those games on your Windows device. So, would you play, like, let's say Destiny on here? I mean, let's say you have an Xbox sitting at home and you can't play it mobily. Honestly, who cares? You go home and play it. I mean, you don't have to have all your like top selected games on here. I know that sucks that you can't, but don't forget this is integrated for Steam. If you guys want a handheld that can do all that other stuff, then you guys should probably go with the ROG Ally, which I am eventually planning on picking up. It's something I really want to do a YouTube video on it. But if I get one, it's going to be brand spanking new. and I'm going to do a nice YouTube video on it and talk about everything about it and talk about how Windows is compared against the Steam Deck and which one you should buy. But that's going to be a future video, so I hope you guys subscribe and stay tuned to watch that video. That would be awesome. But yeah, they go for like maybe $500. They're a little on the expensive side, a little more than the Steam Deck. But then again, you are getting it in Windows, and it is 50%. I think it's 50% stronger than the Steam Deck, so you're definitely going to be getting a lot more bang for your buck if you guys are going with that route. Now, let's talk about how it can compare to another PC. You won't get nearly as much graphical or nearly as much, frames. You won't get any of that much on a Steam Deck because the PC, this is a Predator Helios 300 right here. This one, used for gaming and like editing or whatever. Whereas the Steam Deck, it's made just pretty much for gaming. Like I'm not really gonna do much YouTube editing on here because why would you? Really, I have to do it on PC here, but Windows on a Steam Deck only goes so far, and there's only so much you can do with it. And honestly, it's not horrible, but like for like browsing and stuff, it's actually not that bad considering. Now you will have to like mess with the keyboard setting because it is finicky, but it works. It gets you where you need to go. How fast does it run? Then that's another story. For games and stuff, it's so much slower than SteamOS, and like I said, it is on A1 SD card, so it is going to be a little bit slower. If you guys have a really good SD card, like one that's made for like heavy duty, gaming and stuff, then that will probably run it a lot faster, depending on what the rates are on it. But I'm running a 400 gigabyte A1 SD card, so it's not going to be nearly as fast, and you probably wouldn't really use it for that. If you're planning on gaming on a Windows device like this, then I would recommend upgrading your SD card so it runs a lot smoother. But if you guys really want it to run fast, then you guys should probably end up going with an SSD inside of your let's say your 64 gigabyte model Steam Deck. If you guys have the 256 or the one above that, then you guys are pretty much good from there. But I want to leave my more expensive one alone and use this one, which I did get for free. I made a video a long time ago. I did get this Steam Deck for free off eBay. It was a total mess up, and I just got it sent for free. So I'm glad I got Steam Deck to do testing and stuff, which it works really, really good. But yeah, this is very good for like browsing on the Windows, and it's good for homework and stuff. So if you guys want to have it as like a mobile PC and feel like, yo, check out my mobile PC, then yeah, it's pretty darn good for that, for sure, 100%. So another thing to keep in mind when putting Windows on your Steam Deck is that you're going to have to be downloading a couple drivers. Now, drivers are basically allowing your Steam Deck to function as a PC would. So basically, you get your speakers, you get your Bluetooth, you get your sound. I already said speakers, but you get your AMD drive, you get your what's another set that you get? Oh yeah, you get your SD card reader, which you need to have an SD card reader in here, especially if you're using that for Windows, because sometimes it won't always read your SD card, and that can be really finicky. So you make sure you have your SD card reader downloaded. Also gives you your Wi-Fi drive. Now, when downloading this, you're not going to have Wi-Fi. And I had a small USB drive that couldn't hold that much. So I decided that I would just download my Wi-Fi drive on there. Or Chief Sweet, he downloaded all of his drivers on it at once. But I only downloaded my Wi-Fi driver from my PC on an SD. Not SD, but on a USB stick. And then I went and I used my license dock, and I plugged it into the back. And then I was able to pull up my Wi-Fi driver file, and I was able to implement it and make it where I can connect to Wi-Fi and use it as a PC. So after that, you will want to go on a website called Steam Deck Tools, where you will basically download the rest of the drivers besides the Wi-Fi driver. And basically you have to extract all the files, and you're basically going to have to pull out the setup file, where basically you will be able to download it and set up your Bluetooth, your SD, etc., etc. So yeah, that wasn't that hard. It's actually pretty easy. If you watch this video, I had to watch it a couple times to make sure I was following it right. But it was actually a very easy installation, and I'm not really crazy about files. I'm not really good at that, but he actually made it very easy, and that's why I'm really shouting out, because he made my day when he showed me how to do it, and I got it done. I was like, yes, now I can use the Dualboot function and use my Steam Deck as a Windows and a gaming PC. It's pretty crazy, and the thought is crazy, but yeah, it works stupendously. And if you guys want to download like, Windows only apps and devices, let's say like I wanted to download, for instance, let's go to our Microsoft Store here, if we can find it. Let's say you want to go into your Microsoft store. I can even get signed in here. I didn't think I'd sign into my Microsoft actually. Here, let me just go ahead and do it. So let's say you want to download an app like your Xbox app or something that you can't do on your Linux device, and you really want to do it on your Steam Deck here with the Windows implement, and you want to, put your Xbox app or any other app that anti-cheats won't allow on the Linux, then you can do that. I do know that Linux did have the Xbox app, and they got rid of it for some odd reason. I don't totally know why. Don't ask me, don't quote me on it, but they got rid of it. It's not existent on Linux anymore. So yeah, Linux, there's some things that really suck and some things that are really awesome. And for Windows, there's some things that suck on Steam Deck, and there's some things that are really good on Steam Deck. Like I said, if you're playing games, use your Steam OS. If you are wanting to download, like, let's say, editing software, or let's say you want to, do YouTube editing, anything like that, or just want to use it as a PC for homework or something, then that's great. You can have the option to go ahead and boot up on here and use it. And like I said, if you guys do download the SWICD tool or the console companion tool, I think it's called that, either one, you basically can use those tools to make your Steam Deck a controller for your game. So you can still play games on here. It's just I wouldn't recommend it considering, what you're dealing with here. But yeah, you can go ahead and hit up Steam. Let's go to Steam real quick. Maybe we can show you something with this. Now I don't have the tools downloaded on here, but I'm just showing you guys a Steam store, and you can still download your games and use it as you would a regular PC. Nothing's really different here. Nothing's different or set aside than you would from a regular Windows PC. Just there's a lot more limitations on games you can play and certain things you can download and do. If you guys have a big enough SD card, then you guys can pretty much download anything you need off the internet to do, let's say, your homework or editing or anything like that. But if you guys are just using it as, a gaming system, then that's not really a good way to go. But yeah, I really do love the Steam Deck, guys. It really is an awesome system, and it really does make a gamer PC's day. I personally don't do any gaming on PC. I just don't really care to. I personally just game on my consoles. I have my PS5, my Series X that I do my gaming on. And if I want to play any Steam-only games, I can hold it head up here. And the only reason why I don't is because PCs are a lot bigger. They're a lot more money, and they're a lot more maintenance to take care of. Whereas a console, you just turn your button on and get to your game. It's really a lot easier, especially for those aren't as much tech savvy as others. And you don't have to customize your graphics quality, your frames, your hertz. You don't have to do any of that in Xbox. You click 2 settings, and there you go. You got it for every game. And, it's just really easier than, even playing on the Steam Deck. But if you guys are on the Steam OS, then that is a lot straightforward, especially if you guys have it connected to your TV. It's awesome. So right now I have Left 4 Dead downloading right now on my Steam Deck. It is only, let me see, let's unpause it. It's only 4.8 gigs of 7.9. Now the download speeds on here are a lot slower. If you guys don't have the SSD, the 64 gigabyte model is slow. And honestly, I got this thing for free, so who cares if it's slower? I don't mind waiting an extra 20 minutes for a game to download. But, if you guys are big picks on, oh, dude, this takes way too long. Why would I want that piece of garbage? Then, yeah, this thing would really crush your dreams in getting fast download speeds. But yeah, overall, the Steam Deck is a wonderful machine, and I think there's a lot of usage out of it. And being able to boot into Windows and Linux is a privilege, honestly, especially on a mobile device you can take with you anywhere. You can take with you traveling. You can take with you pretty much any place you want. Although another downside of Windows is, I forgot to mention, like I just said, traveling. You're going to freaking hate Windows when traveling. Let's say you're taking this on a road trip or something, and you are only playing Windows on here, and you're just like, dude, this thing sucks, dude. I forgot to do this, and it just doesn't work right. Then you're gonna want to play with your Steam OS. And be like, I should have never downloaded this Windows, you know. Especially that I'm like taking in the car with me. I don't have internet connection in the car. Why the heck would I want Windows? So yeah, Steam is definitely the winner on the Steam Deck, Steam OS. So yeah, my recommendations is if you guys want the Windows, do the dual boot. Like I said, you can always take your SD card out when you're done with Windows and put it in when you want to use Windows again. So you can have a love and hate relationship, but still enjoy your Steam Deck as a Steam Deck as it was supposed to be. And like I said, Windows is still beta on Steam Deck. Maybe they'll do some updates, or maybe they'll give you some more drivers to download for Windows to make gaming a lot easier on Windows. And until then, the Windows is just not that good for Steam Deck. But it's still good for certain things, like I said before. So if you guys are here to play your games, Steam OS, if you guys are here to do editing and just want a nice PC just to do like looking up, research, homework, then Windows is a great option. But other than that, that's all I really have to talk about in today's video, guys. But, you know, I hope you guys please subscribe. And please subscribe to Chief Sweet. That would also make my day to help him out. He really is an awesome YouTuber. And whenever I'm looking to download something on my Steam Deck or do anything, he pretty much has the video for it. So yeah, if you guys like this video, you know what to do. Anyways, you guys have a great and wonderful day. And, you know, as always, take care.